assistant section officer, the ASO, also known as the assistant post earlier. In the initial years, I would say around, let's say 8 to 10 years before now, that they used to, when they used to function according to the grade pay systems, the assistants used to be at the grade pay of 4,200, but now they have introduced this as an assistant section officer, raising them to the grade pay of 4,600 at par with the inspectors only, right? So I'll talk about all these things. So inspectors being one of the most popular posts, but this becomes a sure shot way for you to stay in the ministries, directly working with administrative officers, senior executive level officers and ministers, forming policies or being a part of policies for the government of India and the country. So Group B, non-gazetted position. In various ministries, you will have this option of being hired as an assistant section officer, earlier known as an assistant. Now, it majorly involves clerical administrative responsibilities. So this is like a table job, a desk job. You will not be having any field work whatsoever. You will be attending, you will be regularly reaching your ministry office, and you will be sitting there mostly from the government office timings, and there will be other perks and benefits given to you, and there will be a good salary which you will be receiving, and you will be working mostly clerical work, but that is not, it is not very monotonous. Your work will include a lot of challenges because you will be directly responsible for a lot of policies which will be made for that particular ministry. You will be responsible for continuity of those policies, right? So I'll tell you what all ministries accept ASOs. So these are the popular ministries which accept ASOs. One of the most popular being Ministry of External Affairs. These ASOs, when they get promoted in the Ministry of External Affairs, after the level of Under Secretary, First Secretary, they will also be having postings outside the country. So that becomes one of the most popular reasons as to why people hit for this particular ASO role after the inspectors. But again, of late they have started releasing good vacancies here. Otherwise, in I would say 4 or 5 years till that time, they had almost stopped giving vacancies, or maybe a very few number of vacancies used to be ousted. But now a lot of vacancies are coming in External Affairs Ministry again. So this is a good chance for those who are looking to settle down, I mean, in a way, or those who are interested to travel internationally. So what will happen is you will be posted in embassies, in consulates, consulate offices across the globe for 3 years, 4 years deploration, and then you will be reporting back to your ministry. That is how this will progress. Okay. The second most popular post for the ASO, which also generates good amount of vacancies, is the Central Secretariat Service, the CSS, wherein an ASO is directly involved in the policy making with the parliament, right? So today, whatever we'll be discussing about, it will be about the ASO CSS, the Central Secretariat Service. So today's session will be talking about in detail. That means what all powers are involved, what all, what is the job profile like, what is the job description like, what will be the pay, what kind of pay, what kind of remuneration can you expect, and everything will be in detail. Even the pay, I will tell you that the exact amount, what is the exact starting salary for an ASO in CSS. Apart from that, Railway Ministry is again a very popular ministry. So this is entry into the Railway Ministries. So you can parallelly work not directly with the Railway Department but with the Railway Ministry without giving the railway examination. So this is one way wherein you can proceed. You will be working with officers which are hired from the UPSC, officers which are recommended by the UPSC in the Railway Ministry also. Armed Forces Headquarters, AFHQ, again. So this is parallel to the Defense Ministry, not exactly the Defense Ministry. You can work as an ASO here as well. Intelligence Bureau and other government departments. There are other departments as well, but most popular are these, and the highest number of vacancies, this is in decreasing order, will also be seen in this way. Right. Now, Assistant Section Officer in CSS, the clerical work is primarily about writing, drafting, noting, submitting letters to higher authorities. But the most important point is that this is here, that you will be responsible for ensuring continuity in the policies of the government of India. So at one point you will feel that, okay, it's just noting, file writing, file transfer, it's not a big deal. But your post becomes important when the policies are being formed. You will also be verifying. The main job of an ASO is to verify what rules exist, what laws exist for this, and how this policy can come into picture. So that is how at the back you will be working. Obviously there will be a team of ASOs who will be working together, and they report to a section officer, right? So that is majorly the job profile, and it is, as I told you, it's a desk job. There is no field work involved. Now let's talk about in detail the salary, the remuneration. So you will be falling in the pay band 7, pay level 7 in the Central Secretariat service. The pay scale will be starting from 44,900 to 1,42,400. That is the pay scale, pay band 7. This is the range where you will be in. The grade pay is 4,600, as I told you, at par with what the inspectors are getting. Earlier it used to be 4,200, but now it is 4,600. Basic pay according to this comes out to be the base pay here, 44,900. This is the starting pay. As and when you get promoted, or as and when you spend more years, you will be shifting in the middle or towards this area also, right? So initially you will get 44,900 at the basic pay. Then you will get HRA 27%, right? So that is because you will be posted in Delhi. So 12,123 for that. DA, that is dearance allowance, right now 34%, but this is continuously fluctuating, you know that, and fluctuating in a positive sense. So this will keep on increasing and changing. The dearance allowance at 34%, approximately 15,266, and the TA, that is travel allowance, that you will be getting 3,600. So the final assistant section officer salary comes out to be 75,889, and this is the starting salary. So as soon as you join, you will start getting this salary as an ASO and CSS, right? Now the ASOs, now let's talk about further details here. So assistant section officer, before you join, as soon as you join as an assistant section officer, you will undergo training at the Institute of Secretariat Training and Management. Okay, ISTM New Delhi, Institute of Secretariat Training and Management, ISTM New Delhi. You will undergo training there. So they will explain to you that how exactly you need to work, what all is expected of you. There will be a brief training, not a very long training, and that may be called your probation period, but your pay will be similar, right? Then you will join as an ASO. You will join as an ASO. Let me write it down here so that it becomes more clear for you. So you will join as an ASO here, okay? And this is your career growth. This is your promotion cycle, right? An ASO, if properly promoted, most probably will go up to the level of a director. Most probably, expecting that you're joining at the age of 27, 28 roughly, right? Or I would rather say 25 to 30, anywhere between that if you're joining, then roughly you can expect to go to a director. If by chance you are even a bit more earlier, then some of the cases can go up to joint secretary as well. Okay. Now, how is the progress happening? Roughly 6 years. Roughly, I would say 5 to 6 years, you will be becoming a section officer. Roughly 5 to 6 years. Roughly 6 to 8 years, I would say, you will become an under secretary. Roughly 8 to 10 years, you become a joint director. And roughly 8 to 10 years again, or maybe more, you can become a director. If I take the upper limits majorly, so you have 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 10 years. So that is 34 years. All right. So after becoming an SEO, as ASO, roughly in 34, 35 years, you can aspire to become a director. Now, director is a very big post, right? So this is the path of an ASO. I'm not saying they can't become a joint secretary, but if you join at a very early, young age, then there is a good possibility of becoming a joint secretary. Or if sometimes a cadre restructuring happens or a cadre review happens, so that also pushes posts and the promotions speed up sometimes. So if that happens, maybe this gap can be reduced. Maybe this becomes 6 years sometimes. This can be reduced. So there is a chance, or that before retirement, maybe for the last 1 or 2 years, the person can become a joint secretary. Right? So that is the career growth path of an assistant section officer, right? So the selection process, obviously you have to give the CGL examination like the others, okay? And about the CGL examination, I'll just give you a brief. I'm sure you already know a lot about it, but briefly I'll tell you, it is divided into 2 tiers as far as the computer based examination, your examination is concerned. Tier 1 and Tier 2. Tier 1 is qualifying now, so the marks are not counted in your final merit, but they are very important. So you have to qualify the exam so that you are able to sit for the Tier 2. Now, so I'll explain it to you in the form of a table. This is the Tier 1 exam, okay? So there are 100 questions in all and 4 sections, 4 subjects, 4 sections. general intelligence and reasoning, general awareness, quantitative aptitude, and English language. Now these four are the pillars of any government entrance examination. Majorly, if you see any competitive examination, there will be a mixture of these four in some ratio or the other. Either some questions may be higher from one section, some may be lower from the other section. In some examinations, GK, GA is very important. In some examinations, quant becomes very important. In some examinations, English becomes important, and in some examinations, reasoning is always there. So the idea here is that the combination of these four subjects is what is going to decide your selection into any competitive examination. So preparation has to be very thorough there. 25 questions from each section and total 50 marks. So plus 2 is how you will be scored for every question. You will be getting 60 minutes to solve this. 100 questions in 60 minutes. Now a lot of students, when they look at previous year papers of SSC, they create a notion in their head that, okay, SSC, oh, this is very easy, I could have done this easily. What level paper they are taking? No. The idea here is not about the difficulty of the question, but the main challenge is the time limit in which you have to solve. So actually the regulatory bodies, the commissions, etc., whoever are conducting the examinations, they are giving you challenges in terms of time and not in terms of level of difficulty here, right? So the questions may seem easy, but the challenge arises when you have to solve it in a very short span of time. For visually handicapped and candidates suffering from cerebral palsy who are eligible for scribe, you will be getting 80 minutes, right? This is tier 1. Once you qualify this, you will be sitting for tier 2. So after a cutoff is generated, and if you clarify all that, and if everything is there, a list will be generated and you will be selected and you will be sitting for tier 2 examinations. Now tier 2 also has changed a few years back. Earlier tier 2 examination was strictly only maths and English. One paper of maths for 2 hours, one paper of English for 2 hours, 100 questions in maths, 200 questions in English. But now things have changed. Again, the same 4 subjects are asked in the mains as well, but the ratio changes, right? So paper 1, session 1 is of 2 hours and 15 minutes, right? In which you get 1 hour, section 1, module 1 maths, and module 2 reasoning and general intelligence. So this is section 1, this is section 2. So 1 hour for section 1, 1 hour for section 2, and 15 minutes for another section. I'll tell you about that. So 30 questions for quant, 30 questions for reasoning, 60 questions here, 180 marks. So 3 marks for each correct answer. And okay. Section 2 will consist of English and general knowledge. English here is 45 questions and GK is 25 questions. So GK remains the same as it was in the first, tier 1. Similarly, 25 questions in tier 2. Quant and reasoning, 5 questions increase each. And here you can see an increment of 20 questions. Okay, so that is this. So in tier 2, English suddenly becomes more important and more heavyweight than the other exams, than the other subjects. Again, here you have 17 to 3, so 210 marks. 3 marks for every correct answer is what they are giving you. 1 hour for each section. So section 1, section 2. There is another section, section 3 here in session 1. Session 1, section 3 will be for module 1 computer knowledge module. It's a 20 question, 60 marks exam for 15 minutes. Majorly that is covered in 15 minutes. Okay. And after that, once you are done with session 1, once session 1 is done, 2 hour 15 minutes are over. 1 hour 15 minutes. Once the session 1 is over, then you get a short break and you immediately go for the typing test. Typing test, section 3, module 2, data entry speed module. Speed test module. This also happens on the same day. A simple data entry task is given to you. Earlier there used to be a time when they used to give you a simple paragraph, you used to type that, they used to expect a certain WPM speed, and then accordingly you used to get qualified or not. But things keep on changing regularly. So this is as per the 2024 pattern. Okay, so 15 minutes for each module here. So this is also 15 minutes. Typing test will happen and you will be free on that day. That paper 1 is done. Then there is a statistics paper. Paper 2, 100 questions, 2 marks each, 2 hours. So this has always been there. This is also for the JSO, Junior Statistical Officer, right? So that was majorly about ASO and CSS. This was all the details which you need to know. So why these videos are important is because when you watch them, you get a thorough understanding of what an ASO does. Because a lot of time I have seen students who fill preference based forms merely on the concept of, okay, this is getting more salary, this is getting more salary, more salary, more salary, okay, done. This is getting slightly less salary, no, I don't want to fill it. or this guy can be posted here, this guy can be posted here. There is another criteria, but let's not talk about that. So the idea is, don't limit yourself. You get to know about every detail, every minute thing which they are involved in, what kind of work, and if it suits your parameters, then you can definitely go for these jobs, because anyway, once you land a government job, you are going to sit for upgrades. I'm very sure about that. So what will happen is, if you get hold of one position, that is how students work these days. So then they start preparing for other examinations, and then they keep hopping and keep upgrading. So keep that also in mind, that as per your score, as per your cutoff, which one is the best option, and can this be fruitful for you or not, right? So this is the end of it. Stay tuned with the Oliveboard platform so that we can keep bringing more such content for you, and you can keep benefiting from this and keep pushing your preparation towards the betterment. All right, guys, on that note, I'll end this session here. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Namaskar. Jai Hind.